So first thing before we get started is we need to make sure our guitar is tuned a half step down. So string number 1, your bottommost string, should be tuned to an E flat or a D sharp. String number 2 is tuned to a B flat or A sharp. String number 3 is tuned to a G flat or F sharp. String number 4 is tuned to a D flat or C sharp. String 5 is tuned to an A flat or a G sharp. And string 6 is tuned to an E flat or a D sharp. So again, that string 1 is E flat or D sharp. String 2, B flat or A sharp. String 3, G flat, F sharp. String 4 is a D flat or a C sharp. String 5 is an A flat or a G sharp. String 6 is an E flat or a D sharp. So this tuning is called a half step down because all of our strings are loosened by 1 half step. On the guitar, a half step is the equivalent to 1 fret. So this is a favorite and preferred tuning for a small group of really influential guitar players, such as Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Slash, and Eddie Van Halen, to name a few. And there's 2 reasons for that, really. The first one is the tuning, which we already talked about. Everything is a little bit lower, and that changes all the chords just a little bit. So a G major chord is now a G flat, a D major chord is now a D flat. That changes the key signature of the music and makes things sound just a little bit different. The other reason that people like this tuning is because of how the guitar responds to string bends. So it ends up making the strings feel a little bit looser and easier to work with because of that. That doesn't mean you have to play it this way, but if you want to be able to match the recording or play along with the recording, it's best to get your guitar tuned a half step down. So this song is originally recorded on a Stratocaster, and if you want to try to match this tone, I would recommend putting your pickup selector in the number 4 position, which is 1 click down from the top there, or 4 clicks from the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is going to be using the neck and middle pickups together, and it's going to give us kind of this signature bell-like tone. So that's what I'm doing there. Otherwise my volume's at 10. My tones are about at 7 or 8, which is usually where they're at. We're going to start by holding an E minor 7th chord up on the 12th fret. And what I'm doing here is I have my ring finger is holding down strings 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm barring strings 1, 2, 3, and 4 with my ring finger. And then I'm putting my middle finger up on string 6, 12th fret. So I've got my ring finger barring strings 1, 2, 3, and 4. My middle finger's on string 6. So I'm going to hold this chord shape without really squeezing. I'm going to do a downstroke with the muted strings, and then squeeze my left hand, do an upstroke, and drag my hand all the way down the neck and let go. Then pick open string 6. So I'm holding this chord here, but I'm not really squeezing down too tight. Doing a downstroke, Then I'm squeezing the chord and upstroke, slide the chord all the way down the neck, and then pluck open string 6. Here it is at regular speed. One more time. So after we do that and pick open string 6, we're going to mute the strings with our left hand and do a down-up muted stroke. It's just going to make kind of a scratch sound on the guitar. Cool, let's see if we can put that all together. So our first chord. One more time. Up next comes a fill that leads into the G chord. So I'm going to do a hammer-on string 5 from the open string to the 2nd fret with my index finger. Then I'm going to pluck open string 3 right after that. So that's a hammer-on string 5, 0, 2, and then open string 3. Then I'm coming up to the 5th fret. I'm going to bar strings 5 and 4 with my index finger. I'm going to pluck these two and then hammer on my ring finger on 7th fret string 5. Alright, so I'm barring strings 5 and 4 on the 5th fret, and then with my pick, I'm picking just those two strings, strings 5 and 4, together, and then I'm going to push my ring finger down on the 7th fret string 5 without picking the strings again. So that's called a hammer-on. Then I'm going to hold down strings 4 and 3 on the 5th fret. I'm going to bar there again. I'm going to play those two and then put my ring finger down on 7th fret string 4 and pick those two again. That's the last two notes in the E minor measure, and it goes like this. So altogether what we have on this fill is I started off with the hammer-on string 5 on the 2nd fret using my index finger. Then open string 3. Then I'm going up to the 5th fret on strings 5 and 4. Doing that hammer-on. Then I'm picking each one of these. So that fill one more time was pausing there for a second. Let's put together everything we have so far. We started at the top on the 12th fret, sliding down, a muted down up, and then here comes this fill. Up next is a G major chord, and we're going to be holding this one a little bit differently. I'm going to be using my thumb to hold down string 6, and using fingers 1, 2, and 3 to do this chord. So the first thing we're going to do is use our thumb to slide from the 2nd to the 3rd fret. Then we're going to pick open string 3. Then you're going to bar strings 1 and 2 with your index finger. Pick both of those, and then do a hammer-on pull-off on the 5th fret with your ring finger. So all together we have, then we're going to pick strings 1 and 2 again. Here's what that looks like. One more time. Next, you're going to put your ring finger on 5th fret string 4, your middle finger on 4th fret string 3, and your index fingers on 3rd fret string 2. And we're going to pick string 4 and use our pinky finger to do a hammer-on string 3. Let's try that again. So I've got my ring finger on string 4, 5th fret, middle fingers on string 3, 4th fret, index fingers on string 2, 3rd fret. And I'm doing a hammer-on with my pinky on string 3. So the first one's a hammer-on, then it's a pull-off, and then another pull-off, then I pick string 4 again. So here's that part one more time. So one hammer-on, 2 pull-offs. Let's see if we can do this entire measure. We started with our thumb, sliding from frets 2 to 3. Pick open string 3, hammer-on, pull-off. Pick those 2 strings again. Get your fingers into this chord and then hammer on, pull off, pick string 4 again. One more time. The next thing we're going to do is go from the 3rd fret with our thumb on string 6 up to the 5th fret. Kind of a quick move from 3 up to 5. And that starts the second line for A minor. Put your index finger on 5th fret, string 5. And we're going to play 5, 7. Then skip down to the 5th fret string 3, back to the 7th fret string 5. So you're skipping a string there. Right, so that little thing again was 5, 7, 5, 7. Then we're barring on the 5th fret, strings 2 and 3. And we're going to do a hammer-on with our ring finger from 5 to 7. Followed by 5th fret string 3, and then a hammer-on 5 to 7 string 4. If we put those parts together, right, so the first hammer-on is on string 3. Then the next one's on string 4. My index finger's barring on the 5th fret this whole time. So I don't really have to move the index finger there. And then I go to string 5. The index finger's still barring here. I do another hammer. I pick string 4 on the 5th fret. And then a hammer on 5, 7 on string 6. Here's what the whole measure looks like. It starts off with the thumb. Let's try it again. Thumb is going 3rd fret to 5th fret. Then it's 5th fret string 5 up to 7th fret. Skip to string 3, 5th fret, back to string 5, 7th fret. Then comes our hammer-ons, strings 2 and 3, then string 4, then string 5, with an upstroke on string 4 there at the end on that one, getting that with an upstroke, a 5, 7, hammer-on, and then I'm going to slide that down to open string 6. So here's that whole measure a little bit quicker. Cool, pausing there for a second. Let's see if we can put that much together from the top. Starting at the 12th fret, here we go. Muted strings, down, up. G major. Thumb, A minor. on the E minor chord. Let's start by grabbing an E minor 7th chord up here on the 7th and 9th frets. So put your index finger, so you're going to borrow your index finger on the 7th fret, strings 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put your middle finger on string 2, 8th fret, ring fingers on string 4, 9th fret. We're going to be doing a hammer-on with our pinky here in a second. So we just played the open string 6, and now we're going to pick strings 2 and 3 and use our pinky finger to do a hammer-on pull-off on the 10th fret. Followed by picking string 3 and then strings 5 and 4. So this happens in almost one motion. It's like this. Here it is again. Right, so I'm just kind of holding this E minor 7th chord, using my pinky for that hammer-on pull-off. And the rest of it is which strings I'm picking. Now keep borrowing your index finger on the 7th fret for this next part. And we're going to start by just picking string 5 on the 7th fret. Then you're going to stretch over with your pinky finger to the 10th fret, string 5. Put your index finger still borrowing on the 7th fret. We're going to end up picking strings 5 and 4. If you get string 3 in there as well, that's cool. That'll sound good. And then strings 4 and 3. With a hammer-on with your ring finger onto the 9th fret, back to 10th fret, back to 7th fret. So it sounds like this all together. And the trick is to keep your index finger barred on the 7th fret here. Right, so I'm using my pinky finger on string 5. And my ring finger, on string 4. So this entire measure goes like this. We start with the E minor 7th chord, followed by this fill, and the index finger is barred the entire time. Here it is again. Next, we're going to a B minor chord, and this measure is kind of difficult because of the fingering, but your thumb's going to be on the 7th fret, string 6. You're going to use your middle finger for 9th fret, string 4, your index finger for 7th fret, string 3, your ring finger for 9th fret, string 1, and your pinky finger for 10th fret, string 1. So this fingering is kind of contorted, and it's going to be difficult for a lot of people. So you might be better off simplifying or doing a workaround on this measure, but this is how it's supposed to go. So I start by picking string 6, and then strings 4 and 3 together at the same time. My index finger is kind of barring here, and my ring finger needs to get down on 9th fret, string 1. So and if the strings are a little bit muffled or buzzy, that's probably okay at this point. Then we need to get our pinky finger to stretch over on string 1, then take the pinky finger away. Then the pinky finger goes to string 2, 10th fret, it comes off again, and you're barring strings 1 and 2 right there. Then you're going to pick strings 4, 3, 2 one last time. So all together, what we're trying to do here is this. Here it is again. One more time. Next, we're sliding over to the 6th fret with our thumb and doing a quick B flat major chord there. So my thumb is on string 6, I've got my ring finger on string 4, 8th fret, middle finger's on string 3, 7th fret, index finger's on string 2, 6th fret. And the rhythm here is, and I'm going down, up, down with my pick. So if I put these two chords together, the B minor and the B flat, it would go like this. And that leads us into the next chord, which is an A minor. That's going to be with my thumb on the 5th fret. My ring finger's on the 7th fret, string 4, and I'm barring strings 2 and 3 on the 5th fret with my index. And this next part's pretty cool. It's a big stretch though. You're going to keep your index finger on 5th fret, string 3, and stretch your pinky finger over to 9th fret, string 4. And that's 9 and 5. And I'm going to keep holding my index finger here on string 3 as I play frets 9, 7, and 5 on string 4. So I'm using my pinky for the 9, my ring finger for the 7, and barring on the 5. And then we keep going on to the next string with our pinky on 8th fret and 7th fret. And our index finger is still barring here on the 5th fret. So we just went 9, 7, 5, 8, 7. My index finger stays in place as I play strings 4 and then 5. And then I'm going to just the index finger for a second, adding my ring finger and taking it away. And then doing a slide from 5th fret to 7th fret on string 6. Could have done that with your thumb as well. So altogether, the measure for A minor goes like this. Thumb, chord, here it is again. Thumb, chord, pausing there for a second. Let's go back to the top and put it all together. Here we go. 2, 3, and muted strings. Minor 7, B minor, B flat, A minor,